Hi everyone, the Jim Gavin debacle has claimed its first official victim, Ivan Yates. Now, we should really rename it the Jim Gavin curse. And of course, we've seen massive political pressure build on Micheál Martin over what took place during Jim Gavin's ill-fated election bid. But the official first victim is Ivan Yates. Of course, Yates is a broadcaster, was working as an independent, inverted commas, podcaster, and was relieved of his duties with that podcast following the revelations that he carried out media work, interview skills with Jim Gavin. Maybe Fianna Fáil should ask for their money back on that. But I won't hold my breath on this. Of course, Yates was working also with News Talk during the period that he was advising Jim Gavin. He was an ex-Fine Gael minister, of course on a massive public pension, was the owner of Celtic Bookmakers. He went bankrupt, went to Wales for a year, came back and reinvented himself in Irish media, working with News Talk, and also went on to do the podcast with Matt Cooper. Of course, I was just turning away from the wind there, very blustery today. And he was working with News Talk on the 23rd, 24th and 25th of September. At the same time, Fianna Fáil have revealed that he was given media training on the 23rd of September and 29th of September for 4 hours to Jim Gavin. Now, we've seen in Ireland where the media stroke political classes work in concert together, and it's really become one big corrupt club. Now, Yates is nothing new to this, because himself, being a Fine Gael minister, was advising Fianna Fáil, helped them during their general election campaign in 2024 and the European election campaign during the same period, and also has been given many talks and motivational speeches to many industry heads right across Ireland over the past number of years. And last year he was down at Ireland's mini Davos. That was a global economic summit hosted by the Business Post, and this was to formulate policy, not to give their opinion, but to formulate policy. And it was the great and good of Irish society invited to this. People like Liam Cunningham, the actor, was there also, of course with Micheál Martin, and many heads of big tech companies in Ireland in a 5-star hotel in Killarney, Hotel Europe, where a 2-night break would set you back, I think, over €700 to €800. Of course, wasn't one of the hotels taken over by the immigration industry, not for the well-off and wealthy and the well-got in Irish society. But as I said, this is nothing new, where the media cross over a lot non-disclosure of interests, non-disclosure of interests, and a major conflict of interest. And it has really circumvented the whole democratic process and the whole idea of having impartiality and balance and independence in the media. Of course, this is going to have major political fallout, because Martin himself is facing his own pressures within Fianna Fáil. In the last day, a poll came out to say that 53% of people say Martin should go. 49% said immediately. Simon Harris is no better off, where up to 40% plus think Harris should go immediately. But the Jim Gavin the battle will rumble on, and the smoke and mirrors will continue, the theatre will continue, the Punch and Judy show will continue. But what's really been laid bare in Ireland is the relationship between media and the political classes. Of course, we know that through RTE, with the 725 million being offered over the next 3 years to pursue the government's narrative. And of course, this is the same time when Martin talks about truth in the media and to avoid misinformation and disinformation and all this type of nonsense when they're trying to clamp down on people speaking out to what's really taking place in Irish society. But it's okay when you're one of those chosen few. And it happens on both sides of the spectrum, because even with the Connolly campaign, there was journalists, of course, working with the Connolly campaign and writing their pieces in mainstream media about it, and then being invited on media shows as panellists, proclaiming their independence and impartiality when they're part of these campaigns, some which for disclosing their interests. On a matter of record, I wasn't supporting anybody's campaign, as you all know. So, absolutely crazy what's taking place in Ireland. But the rug has been pulled from underneath them. People can see exactly what's taking place in Irish society with this Punch and Judy show and pure theatre to what's taking place in Irish society. That should have major political ramifications. But we'll wait and see how it develops over the next period of time. And it just shows you how corrupt the whole golden circle culture is in Ireland, with media, yes men and women, part of this club with the political classes, all that work together, so much for independence, impartiality, balance. They're always putting their hands in the cookie jar, out of the public purse, of course, making massive, massive money. Much the same as what Yates has been doing with his pension over the past long number of years, and his big broadcasting career as well. Of course, he's working with Noel Kelly. Noel Kelly we all know about through the Ryan Tubridy scandal, and these agents doing these massive deals with so-called public service broadcasters. RTE, the mainstream media, is a busted flush. People can see exactly what they are, and this should really show you that they work in cahoot with the political classes in Irish society, for anybody who's wavering or even thinking to what's taking place. And as I said, it's on all sides of the political spectrum in Ireland, so there should be a conflict of interest and disclosing their interests in supporting whatever candidate or working for those candidates as well, while writing pieces on them as well. The rug is being pulled. Take care. Slán go fóill. Bye bye.